not being able to tell which one it is. All right, guys. So, welcome to the first video. And if you can't tell by the title, we will be talking about pregnancy. I am currently 8 months pregnant, closing in on 40 weeks, and I am ready for this to be over. um, it is quite a journey being pregnant. And honestly, I just wanted to come on here and talk about the experiences of being pregnant because I feel like people don't really talk about, or moms specifically, do not really talk about what is all involved with being pregnant. And I talk to a lot of my mom friends, and they say things like, "Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that symptom." Or maybe, every woman does not experience the same symptoms. But it's crazy because most of the time, the main symptom that you hear about when it comes to being pregnant is morning sickness. And I know people have said it before, like, why is it even called morning sickness when it happens at all times of the day? But yeah, I just wanted to put something out there because I felt like I can't be the only one who feels bamboozled by the media when it comes to pregnancy and what you should possibly expect during your pregnancy. So, I am going to go back to my first trimester and what I experienced, just leading up from there until now. So, hopefully, this helps out some of you pregnant mamas out there. For others who have already had their babies, whether it's recently or it's been some years down the road, you can feel my pain. But yeah, so let's start. First trimester. Okay, so first trimester for me, honestly, guys, I had a lot going on in my life. Me and my husband were transitioning from Hawaii to the East Coast. So we found out maybe like a couple weeks before our move that I was pregnant. Things were okay, but I would say the first couple of symptoms that I experienced immediately was aversions to food, certain foods, and extreme tiredness. Now, on top of that, I had made like a I made travel plans basically prior to me being pregnant, and these travel plans were pretty extensive. Basically, I went from multiple states to multiple countries within about a month. So I did all of this within my first trimester, which I do not recommend. But these were travel plans that were already made. Things were already paid for. There's no way to get my money back, so I had to move forward with the plans. So yeah, I don't recommend traveling during first trimester if you can help it. But if you can't, then soldier on, my friend, because I feel your pain. But yeah, food aversions was one of the first things. So the main thing being seafood, which I love seafood. So it was so very, very sad for me. And one of the places I traveled to while being in my first trimester was Italy. And Italy is just a magical, beautiful place filled with wonderful, wonderful food. And they do seafood very well. So to walk into a restaurant and to be immediately assaulted, because that's what it was, assault on all of my senses, with the smell of seafood and to want to immediately throw up, it was just so sad for me, guys, because I really, really love seafood. And I basically lived off of watching other YouTubers eat seafood. So I watched a lot of like Korean mukbangs of seafood. There's this one girl in particular who can eat like a crazy amount of food. And I would just sit on my phone and watch her enjoy seafood because I could not. And then again, extreme tiredness. To be on a trip, an international trip at that, and to be extremely tired is just such a sad thing, honestly, because I don't know what kind of travelers you guys are, but I like to do activities. I like to go out. I mean, if I'm going to go to another country, if I'm going to spend the money and the time, then I want to explore and see that country. Mind you, I've been to Italy before. And then also a part of that trip, I also went to the UK and also Spain. But when I tell you, there were days that I literally did not go anywhere. All I did was stay in bed and rest and sleep because I just could not get my body to function. Yeah. Once again, don't recommend having any extensive traveling plans while you're pregnant in your first trimester because the extreme tiredness is inevitable. I feel your energy doesn't really kick in until second trimester. So yeah, don't do it. I don't recommend. Also, on top of that, before the grand international trip that I had, I went to the Beyonce concert, the Renaissance, in Vegas. Also, Vegas is not a place I recommend that you go to in your first trimester. The smells that you smell while walking down the strip or walking into casinos, I was physically ill at times. Thank God I had a friend with me who was also supportive and understanding, and did not judge me and did not make me feel bad for us not being able to do too much of anything besides go to the concert. But yeah, also do not recommend going to Vegas if you're in your first trimester. It's not a good time, guys. So yeah, those were the two main things. Now, I did experience some morning sickness. I think for most women that's unavoidable. Some experience it to a higher degree than others. I'd say I was probably like low to mid scale when it came to the whole morning sickness thing. I actually would dry heave more than I would actual, throw up. So yeah, it had never really experienced dry heaving before, so that was quite an experience. Not a good time at all. But yes, I did experience some morning sickness, but once again, I'd say it was the food aversions and the extreme tiredness that I dealt with more than the morning sickness, which is why I don't understand morning sickness being the only thing that people really associate with being pregnant. Doesn't make sense to me. All right. So moving on to the second trimester, guys. Second trimester. Let's see. The food aversions for the most part went away, which I was so excited about, and I immediately got a seafood crab boil. It was delicious, and I loved every second of it. So the food, I didn't have too many food cravings, honestly. I did a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Anybody who knows me knows that I hate bananas. Like just taking a raw banana, just like and peeling it and just eating a banana, disgusting. Something about the texture also tastes disgusting. But I will say during this pregnancy, there's been a few times that I have found myself curious about bananas, and I ate a couple and I was not completely disgusted. So you might find yourself eating things that you never really ate before that you hated before. That's a possibility. Energy came back full force. Thank the Lord. So I was able to have somewhat of a social life during the second trimester, which also included my birthday during that time. So that was nice. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Second trimester, honestly, wasn't a whole lot of symptoms during that time. I'll just say mostly you get your energy back. The food cravings you're probably going to experience, or just things that you never really liked before. Maybe you find yourself, you know, curious about eating those things. But those are the only things that I can really like think of off the top of my head. Honestly, it's like it's like the first trimester and your third trimester is so tumultuous, and your second trimester like just kind of gets sandwiched in between these two extremes. So the second trimester is kind of like a blur. Like I don't really remember a whole lot about that. I just remember that it was more good than it was bad. So I would say look forward to that second trimester, take advantage of it, enjoy it, because when third trimester rolls around, guys, it's just, I'm not saying that pregnancy is, you know, all bad, because it's not, but your body goes through a lot, and your hormones go through a lot. So, yeah, second trimester, enjoy it. Moving on to the third trimester, which I am currently in, and I am towards the end of that. Third trimester, it's like the gift that keeps on giving. Now, are they gifts that you want? Not necessarily. Um, are they gifts that you enjoy? Also, not necessarily. But it just keeps giving them to you as if you asked for them. So, for the third trimester, things that I experienced, let's see, that's when you gain the most weight. Fortunately for me, I gained about 30-ish pounds overall, which is about the recommended amount of weight to gain, depending on what your weight was prior to um, being pregnant. So it's different for everyone what that recommended amount of weight is. But that's about how much weight I gained. But it feels like I've gained so much more. I am slow. I am tired. My knees creak a lot. Mind you, I am in my early 30s and my knees were already starting to creak. The military already kind of helped me out in that department as far as the wear and tear on my body. The pregnancy has, expedited that wear and tear as well. Let's see. What else? Outside of weight gain. Oh, there is the mummy brain or pregnancy brain, which everyone says gets worse. My brain functions at such a slow pace. It's honestly kind of sad, guys, just how you forget things and how things just slip out of your mind so easily. I have come to rely so much on my calendar and my reminders on my iPhone, because if I don't put in my calendar or if I don't make a reminder for myself, then it doesn't exist in my world. And that's just how it works. At least for me. Let's see what else. Carpal tunnel, which, guys, once again, just keeps giving the nice little gifts. I did not know that carpal tunnel was a thing that could happen during your third trimester, especially towards the end. I was noticing that every time I woke up in the mornings, my wrists were hurting. And I thought it was because, maybe I'm like laying on my hands wrong or something like that. No, it's carpal tunnel. And the thing that I kind of hate the most about all this pregnancy stuff is when you bring it up to your friends who have been pregnant before, or you bring it up to your doctor or your midwife or whoever, they say, oh, yeah, that's normal. You could literally say anything. Hey, I'm experiencing this, or hey, I'm experiencing that. And guarantee they're going to say, oh, yeah, that's normal. So, yeah, I had to resort to wearing a, what do you call it? Like the wristband thing, or not wristband, but wrist brace at nighttime to help stabilize my wrists because, yeah, they hurt. Also, I have like this weird, like, you guys can't see it, but a bone cyst or something on my wrist that hurts a lot. All pregnancy related. Good times. And then might be TMI, but whatever. You need to know, girl, that hemorrhoids towards the end of your pregnancy is a thing. Now, for some unfortunate pregnant ladies out there, you might experience them in your second trimester. For me, fortunately or not unfortunately, I experienced it towards the end. Not a good time, guys. Just it's not a good time. Don't enjoy it. So yeah, that's been a journey in itself of having to figure out how to get rid of that. And then the thing that has stayed with me from first trimester to third trimester is nasal congestion. This has been the bane of my existence for the last 8.5 months. I have dealt with constant congestion, which has led to me snoring like a freaking trucker. And unfortunately for my poor husband, him struggling to sleep at night because of said snoring. I absolutely hate. Did I say the word hate? Hate nasal congestion. It has been a fight for my life, a fight to breathe for 8.5 months, and there's nothing you can do about it. They tell you to do nasal rinses. They tell you to do nasal sprays. Take Claritin or Zyrtec or whatever other asinine things. But there's no actual like cure or like clearing up of it. They just say you're going to have to deal with it until after pregnancy is over. So for 8.5 months, guys, nasal congestion, not fun, hard to breathe at night, hard to breathe during the day, constant spitting because of the congestion, which is gross. And people probably think I'm sick because I'm constantly like hacking. And I'm like, guys, no, I'm not sick. I don't have the COVID. None of that. I'm just pregnant. That's what it is. I'm pregnant. And you know what that nasal congestion led to? Earaches. Can they do anything about the earaches? No. Why? Because I'm pregnant and they can't really prescribe you much of anything when you're pregnant. So, once again, it was, oh, do nasal rinses, do nasal sprays. Thank God I didn't get a freaking ear infection during this pregnancy. Like, honestly. But those are the things that for me, I have experienced during this pregnancy. That is not to say that pregnancy is all bad. It's not. It's a good time sometimes, typically during the second trimester. But yeah, the reality is, guys, it's hard on the body. It's hard on the mind. You're going to get, sad sometimes and overwhelmed and just tired of being pregnant. But girl, you got to keep going. That's what I tell myself. I let myself cry it out and feel woe is me for a little bit, never more than like a day or two. And then I just keep on trucking. And when all is said and done, There's going to be this beautiful child that you're going to hold in the end. And like all my other mommy friends who have said before, apparently I'm going to forget that I went through all of this torture in the last 9 months. So I hope this helps some of you guys. I hope that you don't feel discouraged. Please don't walk away from this video feeling discouraged at all, because it's not all bad. There is good. Feeling your baby kick for the first time, feeling them move around, being able to talk to them. I highly recommend that. Talk to your baby, play music for them, get your exercise in when you can, just to help you prepare for a smooth labor. And it'll all work out. It'll be a good time. It'll feel worth it when you're holding your little one. And hopefully I'll be having my little one soon, and I can come back and tell you guys about my labor experience, which, if all goes well, will be a completely natural labor. So hope this helped some of you ladies out there, and see you next time. Bye.